The Irving Convention Center at Las Colinas has been the scene of some of the most successful events in the city of Irving.
And during the pandemic, the two key words were pivot and resilience. Executive Director Maura Gast is here with us for an insider's perspective on the last year.
Maura, it's great to see you always.
Good to see you guys. Yeah. Good to see humans.
Yes, to actually be in the same room breathing with human beings.
Well, not breathing completely.
Well, that's true. We need to do a little bit of that distancing thing with the craziness going on right now. So last year was tough. The hospitality industry and the thing that's dearest to my heart, the arts, were really at just the bottom of the list.
Absolutely.
Last year.
Everything was shut down mid-March, and it's just starting to come back in ways that were just starting to feel like almost normal again.
Yeah, and that makes it rough.
Yeah. What would you say got you through the last year?
You know, the biggest thing has been the people around us. So that is certainly our staffs, which never stopped. It's certainly the board whose support we've had, the city management, the city council whose support we have, who've been willing to understand the depths of what was going on, and everybody trying to figure out what can we do. Because what we couldn't do was make people travel who certainly weren't willing or comfortable, or it may not have even been allowed to travel. But we needed all the things that have come to mean a visit to Irving to be here when they were ready to travel again. So we needed our restaurants to get whatever opportunities or avenues for business they could. We needed to promote those. We needed to spend a lot more time talking with what I would just say our inside voice, or our talking to Irving voice instead of always talking to strangers voice, and making sure we didn't neglect either side. Even though our charge is always the strangers, we needed to make sure local people were aware that restaurants were still open in different ways but needed their business, and that hotels were good and safe places for weekend getaways in your own backyard, all those kinds of things, and probably most importantly to build a pipeline, because sooner or later this ends and we want people back and we want everybody ready to have them back.
Absolutely. It's so. What is the current status? I mean, I wish we had the crystal ball.
Yeah. And
I know you've frequently been asked to pull out your crystal ball.
Oh wait, there's no wind in here at all.
None whatsoever.
Yeah, it's about every 3 or 4 months we take a look at what's going on and try to have at least a halfway intelligent guess, which is all it is, about what's coming. As of 2 months ago, what I could tell you is that beginning January of next year, things were really going to start rocking again, and really start to rock at a pace that was beginning to feel normal, both for the convention center and for our hotels. It's probably 23, 24 before our hotels are able to stabilize rate, but at least occupancy was starting to come back. The last couple of weeks, we've seen some hiccups as this Delta thing takes its on. I saw something in the news about Iota and Lambda. I'm like, we're halfway through the Greek alphabet. This is not a good thing,
We
right?
don't want to go there.
But people are, they're being cautious, or they're trying to understand what their options are, because their options right now, from an event happening basis, really more from a legal standpoint, is very different than last summer when things were shut down, where you were not allowed to have gatherings of more than X number of people, and then that opened up with certain restrictions or requirements. So the legal framework is very different right now, and the balance I think all of our hotels are having to fight, and that we're having to fight, is just to find a way to most importantly protect the customer relationships, so that if it doesn't make sense to meet right now, or to meet the way you were going to meet, how can we best work with you to make sure that you can meet?
Yeah. And that's the answer, I think, that we're all hoping to find out. So over the course of this next few months, you'll be making a decision. In the meantime, if people want to know what's going on, where do they need to go?
Easiest and best place to do is either our Visit Irving, Texas Facebook page, or irvingtexas.com, or irvingconventioncenter.com. The convention center site's going to have just the convention center events, and really just those that are open to the public. And then the Irving, Texas site, the CVB site, is going to have everything going on in Irving that's open to the public. And it's as up to date as we can get it to be. We also maintain a very robust restaurant listing. So we know what restaurants are offering in terms of in-restaurant dining, or to-go, or any of those kinds of things. One of the biggest challenges everybody's having is just staffing right now. And so even though places are permitted to be open 100%, they may not have the staff capacity to reopen at 100%. So if you're out at a restaurant, tip nicely, tip friendly. Remember, those guys who showed up are doing the heavy lifting for a lot of folks, and just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, I think that those are great words.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they really do.
absolutely.
Eat out often.
Yes, absolutely, because there's a lot of joy in
And
that.
sleep out often.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
what's
go
the right? I
with
don't know what the right hotel correlation is, but
Yeah.
still safe places to be in your own
Yeah.
backyard, and still hotels ready to welcome you.
That is great. Thanks so much for being
Thank you
with us,
guys.
Maura.
Appreciate it.
Folks, remember the website, irvingconventioncenter.com. Visit irvingtexas.com.